What is going on, everyone? My name's Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video, and today it's the weekly team selection preview series. So this is where I take you through my team, of course, how it did in the previous week and then how it's shaping up for the next week. Maybe players that I'm looking at possibly getting rid of soon, transfer options for this week, as well as captaincy as well. So I've fully got my account back now. Had to wildcard last week, so I'll run you through that quick, and then we'll see how I'm getting on for game week 8. Let's jump into it. So this is how the wildcard team shaped up. I'll go through the team in just a second. But looking at game week 7, I got 55 points altogether, 423 points total. And I know people in the comments are already saying, how can you have that many points and a rank as high as 157k? Because I am recording this before the Man United and Arsenal game. I have to do that in order to get it out. It's not really going to affect my decisions too much. I don't think I'm bringing in any players from those teams just yet. And I've not got any players to affect my score, but obviously my rank will drop. So I'm 157k, but I will expect that to drop. And that's the reason why it's got the asterisk next to it. In terms of the team, on the wild card, I went for Pope. I just kept him. There wasn't, I like him. I like Burnley. They usually keep good amount of clean sheets when they're not in the Europa League. I'm expecting that to happen. I still don't think there's a huge amount to split between the cheap goalkeepers, so I just stuck with the man I had. I didn't want to change the wildcard team too much because obviously in a normal season I wouldn't have even used it. So I wanted to keep the players that I kind of liked and would have had anyway. So I bought in Otamendi, which is probably something I may have done anyway. Only the 1 point. I probably should have, well, obviously I should have played Tomori ahead of him, but I thought there's a chance for Man City to get a clean sheet in that game. As it turns out, Everton had quite a few chances against them. So on another day, Everton could have scored more. Probably they actually looked pretty good. So maybe I should have played Tomori. But you know what I'm like. I set up my teams to play most of the 11 every single week. So Trent Alexander-Arnold and Otamendi get played every week. And then I play one of the 4.5 million defenders. That's kind of how I've set this team up. Trent may be a little bit lucky to get the clean sheet, to be honest. Sheffield United had a lot of chances. I think that kind of showed their quality up front. On another team or maybe on another day, Sheffield United would have scored, but it just wasn't to be. So happy with the 6 points there. And Soyuncu, maybe the most nailed-on clean sheet we'll see all season. I think Newcastle's expected goal, someone was saying, was like 0.05, which is extremely low. Barely attacked at all, so that was nice. Obviously other defenders did well. Pereira scored, Evans got an assist as well, but for the price you pay for Soyuncu, 6 points is decent. They have got some nice fixtures coming up as well. So moving on to midfield, De Bruyne, what more is there to say? He's so consistent. He's risen to 10 million now, and that's probably still 1.5 million under what he should be. We should probably be captaining him every week at this point. Mount did decent. I think him and Abraham really could have come away with a bigger score on another day. Maybe some better finishing from Abraham and the same for Mount. But he won the penalty Jorginho put away. So nice to get 6 points from him. And again, we know that Chelsea got a good run of fixtures, so I'm really happy with him. Yarmolenko, he was kind of my punt, my little differential. It was him, Lamella, McGinn, that kind of price range, maybe Cantwell as well. Underlying stats, he looked like the best, and he had the, between him and McGinn it was, and he had slightly better run of fixtures for longer. So McGinn's initial fixtures are good, but they don't run as long as Yarmolenko's. But they both scored in the end, so it wasn't hugely different. But got some bonus points there as well. So super nice score. Captaincy, I don't usually do this, and I know everyone says that you shouldn't switch, or I did this, I was going to do this, but you know me, I generally pick my captain at the start of the week and then keep him for the whole week. I don't usually change it because you can just look into these things too much and overmanage. But I did make the decision. The whole week felt a bit rushed with the wild card and the hacking and stuff. And in the end, it was a bit of a coin toss. And I basically went for Salah because he was playing Sheffield United, who obviously newly been promoted, and I took it off Sterling. Sterling should have had another goal as well, so maybe I got a bit lucky not for it to have been more, but I think Sterling going forward for Man City obviously looks really good because they got good fixtures coming up, but nice to get a goal from Sterling. Salah nothing. Liverpool pretty poor, to be honest. Mane should have scored more, but Salah wasn't really in it too much. Then up front, another blank for Pukki. I think people are going to start getting cold feet. The difference I've said before between him and like Jimenez last year is Jimenez was a bit cheaper, whereas Pukki is the same price as other strikers that may or may not start doing well or are doing well. So when the likes of Vardy are doing well too, if you've got a bit of money, you might want to upgrade. But I think the fixture he's got this week, you probably keep him for that. And then maybe if he doesn't perform again, we might start to look to get rid. So looking ahead to game week 8, squad value is 101.5 million. Obviously, I took a bit of a value hit when I lost my account and all the players and sold with stuff. And in the bank is 0.0 million, so nothing to spend on one free transfer. So in defence, probably not going to use it this week. Obviously, I have just wildcarded, so most of this team is set up for a good few weeks unless something major happens. Pope in goal against Everton. I mean, Everton haven't been doing very well, but against Man City, they did create quite a few chances. Don't know how much that was down to them, really. or just Man City not defending very well. But given that this game is at home for Burnley, this kind of fixture that I would hope for a clean sheet in for Pope. If not at least some save points. So we'll see which Everton turns up. They've been a bit hit or miss this season after starting pretty well, but not scoring many goals. They then scored a few goals, but then went back to conceding a lot. So we don't really know right now what Everton are like. So we'll see. That'll be an interesting match. Hopefully Pope can come away with some points. Otamendi against Wolves. Again, Wolves, Europa League, they've struggled a little bit maybe versus how well they did last year. They just won at the weekend, which is obviously a good result for them, giving them some confidence. But going to the Etihad against Man City is probably not what they want to be doing right now. So I'm confident of a clean sheet for Otamendi. Hopefully he can get some attacking returns as well. And same for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Playing Leicester, I know they just smashed Newcastle, but it was Newcastle down to 10 men. Obviously a trip to Anfield is a totally different experience. So Vardy obviously looking good at the moment, and I think he's scored, since Brendan Rodgers came in, he scored the most amount of goals I think for forwards, which is an interesting stat, but it's the kind of fixture that I could see Liverpool getting a clean sheet. So I'm obviously going to play Trent anyway, but I'm not too worried about him conceding in that one. Diop is probably the biggest worry because I kind of got this 4.5 million, not rotation, but their fixtures do fit in pretty well with each other, and obviously I want to play the best one every week. And Diop's got Crystal Palace at home, which I think is a good fixture. And before this week, they had kept three clean sheets in a row. The problem I got with West Ham right now is Fabianski's injured. And although we're not, again, at the time we're recording this, we've not got a confirmed diagnosis or a confirmed how long he's going to be out for, it does sound like it's going to be 2 to 3 months, which is a long time to be without Fabianski. He's one of their best players. We know how good a shot stopper he is. So this is really going to affect West Ham's clean sheet. So I think given the fixture, Soyuncu's obviously got Liverpool away. Tomorrow's got Southampton away, so I might consider playing him. I think I've probably got to go for the home game and hope they can do something against Palace. Palace haven't necessarily been free scoring. I think Zaha looked good at the weekend. And maybe that'll be a bit of a struggle for West Ham to contain. But given that it's home, I think I've got to keep playing Diop. But going forward, if I was looking at maybe bringing in a West Ham defender, I'd maybe think twice with Fabianski out. So adding in the midfielders now, and I must admit, it is nice to see 3 at the back now. So over 3-4-3 obviously, or 3-5-2. It's nice to look at. Obviously, I did start with 4 at the back. Some people started with 5, and I don't think it was the worst idea. I do think there's every chance that I'll do it again next year. But as the season progresses, you kind of get to learn which premiums to go for, which cheap attackers to go for, and that lets you take a bit of money out of defence. So I'm on the 3-5-2 now, and obviously these are the 5 attackers that I'm going to play in midfield. De Bruyne and Sterling, I mean, arguably, like I've already said, we should be captaining De Bruyne. He's so consistent. There's just that thing, maybe in the back of my mind, maybe it's a psychological thing because of the price. The Sterling's just got a higher ceiling. Now, that's, maybe a stupid thing to say considering De Bruyne got 17 points recently. But Sterling's just got the bigger goal threat. He's going to be in the box more. He's going to get more opportunities to shoot. De Bruyne will do it too, but from probably outside the box. And so I don't doubt that De Bruyne will probably get another assist this week. And we will have to see whether he definitely plays, because there are kind of rumours going around on Twitter that he's not training for the Champions League. He might just miss that game and then play the league game. We don't know. Again, we'll get more news throughout the week. But as long as there's no 100% he's out, I'm definitely going to keep him. And I've got bench players I could play instead if he's not out for a long time. If he's out, big if, then if he's only for like a week, then obviously I want to keep him. A lot of value tied up in him. And he's going to come back and be just as good anyway. So Sterling will probably be my captain. I think Wolves at home is a good fixture. Again, we don't really know what Wolves side is going to turn up. And it's at home as well. So the other option is Salah, but I just think Leicester might put up more of a fight than Wolves do. And we know how devastating Man City's attack is. As good as Liverpool's is, Man City's is that slight step ahead, I think. So Sterling's going to be my captain. Mount, obviously want to keep him, good value. Southampton away, not necessarily the best fixture, but I think going forward, obviously, definitely want to keep him. And then Yarmolenko is my star man last week. Hopefully he can do it again against Crystal Palace. Again, I think West Ham have looked okay going forward. Haller maybe owners will want him to step it up a bit. I don't know if he's looked as involved as he maybe did earlier in the season. Obviously, we've only had 7 games. And he hasn't played every single minute either, so I wouldn't be too worried about him. But Yarmolenko definitely looks like one of their attackers is going to be in the points. He's going to have plenty of shots, as we've seen already. And Crystal Palace at home is a decent fixture. So I'm really happy with this midfield. Not too many changes I would want to make. Salah maybe going forward. Liverpool do have some tougher fixtures. If I could maybe split the funds somewhere else, I might do that. For example, looking at captaincy, unless you're going to captain him at home to Leicester, you're probably not going to captain him again until the likes of Gameweek 13, because either they've got a poor fixture or Man City and maybe even Spurs have got a better fixture. So one player I'm looking at is Son for Gameweek 9 and Gameweek 12. I think Spurs have got 2 of the best fixtures for those 2 game weeks. Only problem is for Gameweek 9, he's going to do play in the international break, and he'll have a long way to travel back. And as people have pointed out, he does get rested quite a lot after international break, so that will be a worry. Could look to Harry Kane. I don't know if I'm ready to go back there just yet. So not, never in a massive rush to sell Salah. I did do it twice last year, so I might do it again this year. But right now, obviously, the midfield stays for this week. And then, we'll reassess after the international break for game week 9. So adding in the forwards and the bench, just to quickly touch on the bench, Tomori first sub. Could play him against Diop, but like I said, Diop's at home, so probably going to stick with what it is like right now. The only swap I might make is Soyuncu and Greenwood, so I'm expecting Leicester to concede against Liverpool. Soyuncu, I don't know if he's got that much goal threat really. Potential, of course. Already seen him get an assist, very lucky one this season. But I think the big key with him is he's definitely going to play. So even though I expect Liverpool to score, probably not going to be a demolition job. And I think Leicester, to be fair, have been defending pretty well this year. I know the clean sheets haven't shown it, but they haven't been giving up that many chances. And so I think going forward, the clean sheets will come, just not this week. But Greenwood, just don't know if he's going to start. And almost certainly when Rashford and Martial are fit, he's not going to. We've seen again, Rashford's been brought back from injury, even though Greenwood scored during the last game he played. He hasn't got himself in the side, and I don't expect it to happen while Rashford and Martial are fit. So hopefully no one's pinning too many hopes on him. Obviously, he could come on and score in the Arsenal game, get a hat-trick. Rashford injured. I don't know yet because it's not been played, but he's probably go to third bench. But Tomori first sub. And then up front, Abraham against Southampton away. Again, like Matt, I don't know what to really expect from that game, what kind of Southampton side will turn up. But I think Chelsea, one thing they've been great at this season is going forward. And I'm happy to own Tomori going forward as well because they got Kante back now, and I think they will look more defensively sound with him in the team. So Mount and Abraham looking decent enough going forward. And then Pukki, Aston Villa at home. Is this his last chance? I don't know. But if I had the money to upgrade him to someone like a Vardy after this week, I might be tempted. If he blanks this week, I think that'll be 3 blanks in 4 games, which is a little bit of a worry. We know maybe not been so good going away from home Norwich, but at home to Aston Villa, I would expect points in this. If he doesn't get points, I know he got them against Man City, and obviously I benched him for that, which was stupid of me. But 3 blanks in 4, you've got to question it. And obviously a lot of people likened him to Jimenez last year, and obviously he went on a great run and was really great for the whole season. But he started at 5.5 million. Some people, if you've only just got Pukki and you've paid 6.8, 6.9, for me I've paid 7.1 million. So he has to do well week in, week out pretty much, or at least consistently, if not week in, week out. For that money, especially if other players are performing around him for the same price. So we'll give him Aston Villa, see what happens there. If he does blank again, I will have to consider maybe getting rid if I've got some spare money. I don't know right now. Well, now I've got Abraham already, if there's another striker that I want to go to straight away. But if I had money for Vardy, I would look at it. But there's every chance that he does well against Villa. It's a good fixture for Norwich to get scoring again. Obviously, they did really well against Man City, so we know they can get goals against anyone. But hopefully this is the week he does it against Villa. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. It's much appreciated as always. Subscribe if you're new around here. Hit that notification bell when you know when all the new videos are going live and when I'm live streaming, which should be 9 o'clock on Thursday. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of the captaincy choice this week, what you think of my team, any changes you think I should make. Am I crazy for even considering getting rid of Pukki potentially next week? Not saying for definite. And hopefully by the time this video goes out and you've watched it, Man United have won. But you never know given how they're playing at the moment. So I'll leave it there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.